I give you all of me. It is all
Hey,
Yes.
how are you?
Hey, what's going on?
Thank you for having me.
Uh, Thank you for being here
Of
with
course.
us. I'm a R&B girly. I love me some good R&B. So as everybody is, we had to come back in. So as everybody is kind of getting back, letting them know that we're here,
hmm
we'll just go ahead and do our introduction because I'm ready to get into these questions.
Let's do
Get
it.
some tea, all the above. So guys, thank you so much for being here for another episode of Indie Talks, where you already know we are talking to the finest when it comes to emerging artists, when they're doing a thing in this industry, and for giving us some dope music, okay? And listen, we have the ear and we find them, all right? So of course, I'm your host. For those who may not know, Aisha Lewis Redway. Of course, my beautiful co-host Danielle could not be with us tonight. All right, but she's here in spirit. All right, so we're gonna keep the energy high. So tonight we have the pleasure of speaking with. I came across your music and I actually got to meet. I believe Calvin,
Yeah.
who's your manager, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, who's an amazing soul.
hmm
So shout out to him, and I've been stuck ever since.
Thank you. I love
Been
that.
stuck
Yeah.
ever since, and I love and I just love. So I want to welcome you, Mr. Donelle Valentine, to
Yes.
the show.
Yes. Thank you for having me. Thank you. I'm excited.
Of course, of course. And first of all, you are a New York native, not only a New York native, but you're from the Bronx, from
Yes.
CX and
Yes.
everything. I really want to get into this. Talk about, because we have so many amazing artists that comes just from New York alone, the
hmm
Bronx alone. Kind of talk about how being from the Bronx and how that shaped you into the artist that you are and that you're looking to continue to grow as.
Um, I think being from the Bronx has shaped, I guess, this originality for me. I think from each borough, I think just more so now, there's a certain style. Brooklyn has the drill,
Yeah.
and the Bronx doesn't really have like an R&B scene. That's been like
Mhm.
publicized. There's definitely R&B here. There's definitely a ton of talent here, but there, there's we have uniqueness. I
Yeah.
feel like
Yeah.
and just growing up here, living where I lived, and in my environment, I think that I want to present that in my with my music as well. So
Yeah, because the Bronx, I mean, you have a lot of rap artists that
yeah.
definitely come from the Bronx. We got a few, here and there that kind of dribble, but definitely the R&B scene
hmm
is something to really to dig into. And I want to kind of get into that a little later in our interview because we're going to kind of talk about, R&B resonated.
mm
For one point they thought it was dead, and then
Yeah.
now it's like, but it's always been there. I think it's
hmm
just wasn't they're not paying attention.
Yeah.
So we're gonna make them pay attention, right?
Definitely. Yeah.
And I want you to kind of talk about the pivotal moment for you where you knew like music was just you knew that was just gonna be your career move.
hmm I mean, it's crazy. I think for me, I'm actually like a behavioral therapist. I
Okay.
work with children and adults on the spectrum. So that's been with me for a long time. But I want to say maybe 3, 4 years ago, I was, blessed to have the opportunity to write songs or to pitch songs to bigger artists, mainstream artists. And from then on, I felt like, yo, I can really do this. So
Mm,
um, I think during COVID, I was able to hone in on my craft and really just pursue it as we waited for everything to kind of like, roll over. But since then, I've just been, 10 toes down, just going for it. So I think that's,
love
yeah.
it. And not only have you been kind of working on the music, you have mentorship as
hmm
well, kind of going through this. And like you said, just kind of the pandemic is kind of what made you kind of just like, all right,
Yeah.
I'm stepping out. I'm doing this. Kind of talk about that mentorship and how that was help shaping you, because I think a lot of times, especially this day and age, where a lot of younger artists, they don't have that
hmm
guidance in a sense. So kind of talk about how that mentorship, and I believe the mentor was Mark
Yes.
James. Kind of talk about that mentorship and how that shaped you in that moment, especially coming from the
Yeah.
pandemic.
Um, Mark James has definitely been a huge mentorship for me, or mentor for me. Just music aside, just a role model as a man. I think every young black man should have that. Some type of guidance, whether it be a father or an
Yes.
older friend, just someone who can help you. Um, I think he's just pushed me, honestly. There have been moments where I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. Like
Mm,
I'm questioning the talent, and he just constantly just projected God and his faith into me, and I felt like that was so necessary for you know just everything that I'm going through. We all go through things as artists and then just as people. So and then especially during COVID,
yeah.
so it definitely kept me grounded. It kept me sane. And even now, he's not managing me, of course, but I still have him as, someone I can lean on and, contact when things are getting rough.
Okay. And talk about, I guess, for you, when you're, as now you're coming into your sound, you're writing, you're collaborating, you're working with a lot of
Hmm.
artists. Talk about the uniqueness of you as an artist and being able to stay true to yourself, because we have so many different trends,
Hmm. Yeah.
that everybody can jump on. This is the sound wave, it's good, drill, trap, whatever.
Hmm.
And just talk about how are you
Sorry, my
being
dog.
able to stay, you're good, stay in the uniqueness of you.
um, I think for me, I've just made a commitment to myself where I'm not going to compromise, my sound or, for any trend or anything that might seem like, a moment. I think if anything, I like to take these moments, these trends, and, do freestyles. I do a lot of those on my page, and just to show that like, yo, I can do this if I wanted to,
Right.
and just kind of like add my own sauce to it and, my own flavor to everything that's happening.
I love it. And let's get, first of all, speaking of artists and collaborations, let's kind of get into it, because of
Hmm.
course, I mean, you have not only just with your original music, which we're going to get into, a lot of collaborations with other artists. Kind of talk about, how do you, especially someone of that's of a caliber is where now that's coming up in this music, Cash Cobain. Talk about the style and influences of these collaborations and how they're able to help kind of guide you in a sense of the direction of which you want your music to go and how you want your sound to be.
Um, I think even just using like the Cash Cobain as an example, I felt like um, that's just a unique scenario in itself. My brother kind of helped facilitate that collaboration. He's an artist. His name is King Bimo. He's a rapper, and he's kind of part of the Slizzy camp. Um, but he kind of just spearheaded that, and honestly, my brother said, "Yo, try to make it sexy." That's that's like the epitome of sexy drill. So I just try my best to not do what they do, but kind of like just incorporate some R&B and just make it soft and smooth. I really tried to just keep the same type of I guess pace as them, but in my
Okay.
own format.
Now, with that being said, did you find that challenging, or you felt like, okay, now I got this? It was a cool
It
breeze,
was
walk in
definitely
the park.
challenging. Yeah, it was challenging.
And how did you overcome that challenge? Like, how did you kind of step out of that into that zone?
Honestly, I just try to stay true to myself. My brother would tell you it's not sexy enough, but just I just have fun with it. Honestly, I try not to put too much pressure on it. I
Okay.
love the drill scene because everyone's having fun. At least with Cash Cobain and what they're doing, they seem like they're having fun. Um, and I just try my best to just imitate that fun for me.
Okay. I love it. I love it. So not only of that, I mean, you worked with Girl Code, King Bimo, Fresh, who's actually signed to Party Next
Yeah.
Door. Okay. What is there any particular things that you've learned from these artists as you're pursuing
Mhm.
your music as a art in the artistry lane as well? In regards to how do you approach certain these collaborations, and when you're working with these artists, like what insight that you would say is like one of the biggest moments that you have learned from others?
I think collaborating has taught me to just, I guess, be open-minded, be open to feedback, be open to criticism, and not to take anything too personal.
That part.
Because sometimes, even for some of these collaborations, whether I'm there in person or it's done through us exchanging files back and forth, they might not hear something that they necessarily want for their record, and vice versa. And just responding in a respectful way, and okay, let's do what you're envisioning, and try to reach that goal.
Okay. And now let's get into the music. So, of course, so like I told you, since I met your manager during an
Hmm.
event and just got to chatting, and then of course he was like, "I got this artist," and I was like, "Okay." I love being put on. And I literally got stuck. And of course, I kind of went back to some of the older songs that you have, the trilogy that you developed as well.
Hmm.
But of course, we want to talk about the newer projects that you do have at this present
Hmm.
time. But let's talk of the latest single, obviously, All the Time, which was a collaboration with you and also Cash Cobain as
Hmm.
well, correct?
Yes.
Kind of walk us through that creative process and basically give us like the behind the scenes of what the message that you want to convey to your audience when you're with this track.
Um, I'm not gonna lie. This track was probably like my first type of drill record that I've approached, and it was very challenging. Like I think my brother had sent me that record 1 month, and it took me maybe 2 to 3 months to actually approach it because I wasn't too confident in my ability to kind of like mimic their sound. And it wasn't until I learned to kind of like again just like, have fun with
Mhm.
it where I felt like okay, I can possibly do this. But it being a babyface sample, I felt like
Yes.
I had to try to present a story or
That was my
something.
next. I was getting to
Yeah.
like, got the
Like
baby
I
face
had
on
to
here.
it was a great alley oop for me because I felt like that as a babyface. So I had
Hmm.
to, do my best. But for that record I just try to present like a little love story. I try to do that with all my records, present some type of story or scenario. And I guess in that song I'm just detailing, you know, a love interest and kind of going back and forth with, uh just wondering if I'm enough for them. Just really romantic stuff, and I felt like I was able to just do that in a short amount of time. I think the record's maybe about a minute 40. And yeah, again, I just tried to have fun with it, and I think I accomplished that.
Okay. And I feel like I love this style. Like it's just I know that it's something that's new and it's like definitely exploding on the R&B scene.
Mm.
Do you see yourself in the direction like is this something the lane you kind of want to stay in, or do you kind of want to go more as like nah, just you know give me that baby face feel, give me that tank feel, like I really just want to do pure just R&B and
Hmm.
just more, or like talk about the direction you kind of want to use this to go into.
I think this is a great segue in showing off my ability to kind of do whatever is current. If Cash Cobain had done country records and it was taken off, I probably would have did that too, just to show that, like I'm about it. I'm really an artist.
Right.
But
Like
I'm
there's variety to you.
yeah, I'm
Yes.
very versatile. So I wouldn't classify myself as like an R&B drill artist. I'm just having fun with it.
Okay.
And it's embodying New York right now. So I definitely want to, represent and show that as a New York artist, I can kind of keep up with, the cool kids.
All right, now with the cool kids. And I do obviously earlier this year you also released the
Hmm.
EP. Now the Friends EP where you had various features as well. I
Hmm.
kind of want you to kind of go into that because I really 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 love this EP. Um in regards to how does that theme of friendships really kind of played a role in shaping these songs?
Um, Honestly, these are just like features that I've had and I was kind of like sitting on, and I have so much music, so I thought a cool thing would be to kind of just compile all these features that I have so far and to just, make like a big, project. And I kind of cut it down because I have a ton of,
Oh,
a
okay.
lot more music. So I just cut it
I was
down to
like, well,
like
this is
five
a
songs.
teaser. You coming out with a
Yeah.
part two?
Yeah, I definitely want to do a part two.
Okay.
And honestly, I wasn't too concerned with, who's known and, that type of thing. I just wanted to rock with artists who've just been rocking with me and who I actually respect their talents and, actually listen to their music. So, it was a fun process.
And I like that aspect. Like you said, just, it's not about who's the headlining or
Hmm.
whatever on the project. because we have so many dope artists in our
Yeah.
backyard, and and like I said, this is why it's so important to me to be able to hear new artists like yourself, and
Mm.
then for you to have this project to feature other artists. I'm
Yeah.
like, ooh,
Yeah.
ooh, this line, this bar, oh, this is amazing. Like
Yeah.
that's like that reaction, I think is just something that's like so
Mhm.
pure. Because it's just like, we're missing it, the mark. And this is why I kind of want to lead into this whole I guess topic when it comes to R&B, in a
Mhm.
sense, because at one point they were saying R&B is dead, but we have so many artists that, whether major or emerging, that were literally just being passed on.
Yeah.
I think you definitely have a uniqueness in your sound. I think you definitely have something in that we can look forward to when it comes
Thank you.
to this industry, when it comes to R&B. Kind of talk about how you feel. Where do you feel R&B is headed?
Um, I feel like R&B is in a good spot. I think that that notion of R&B being dead, I think that was expressed during COVID,
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken. And
when it
I felt like
wasn't.
honestly, it
It's just
wasn't.
me, my opinion. It wasn't.
Honestly, I felt like the ladies were holding it down.
Oh
I
yes.
felt like a lot of the mainstream artists and even artists who may not be as well known were holding it down. But I felt like, as a unit, both men and women, I feel like it's at a good place.
Okay. And so I guess I want to say it's just like, when it comes to the music scene, are there other artists like you feel like you want to kind of do more of just songwriting with, or just
Mhm.
overall a bigger collaboration, whether if that's being featured, writing for them, or whatever the deal is? Like, what do you foresee for yourself? Like, or who, or I guess the better simple way of the ask is like, who do you want to work with?
um, I would love to work with Jasmine Sullivan one day. That's like I love her. I love her
Oh,
sound. I love her pen.
did you get to see her
Um,
when she on tour?
I did. I did.
Okay.
I went to Boston to see her. So that was amazing. I cried. Like she really
Wow,
got it.
she's amazing. I done saw her
Yeah.
2 times
And she was singing sick.
overall.
I was like, whoa, like you got it. Like you really got it. Um, that's like on a bigger scale, but just
Mhm.
honestly, I think women in general, I want to collaborate more with. I want
Mm,
to really uh, just get some songs out there. I want to tell a story. I want to use someone's pain and kind of like live vicariously through them, or just big up songs that really, big up the
yeah,
women. I think that's kind of like my mantra with my music. You won't ever hear me, talk down on the ladies,
right.
call them out their name, anything like that. Not females, but women. I that's my demographic. So I definitely want to target those type of artists.
Okay. Um, and then first of all, just thank you so much for this conversation,
Hmm.
being able to just be you, and just to kind of, drop some gems, and just in regards to your artistry and what you do and how you're doing it.
Hmm.
Um, I guess I want to say it's just like, what have been the most rewarding part since doing this? Because obviously I mean, you still, have so much more to go,
Hmm.
right? And being able that you're able to take this serious and be able to start off, during 2020, and then now we're in 2024. What has been the most rewarding? Or maybe this just most, I mean, I know you kind of talked about, just trying to tapping into the whole sexy. Yeah, I know that's been challenging, but just in this industry overall, what I would just say, it could just let me know like what either could have been the challenges or what most rewarding part of this.
Um, I think the most rewarding part of it has just been that confirmation that I belong. I think finding that in myself, that's important and important for any artist to believe that they should be here. But I think also just the kind of like the endorsements from other legends in the game. Like Darkchild. He's listened to my music. He's liked my songs. He's offered me opportunities. Having opportunities to write for other established artists, or for them to see my freestyles. Like Bryson Tiller's commented on some stuff, and
Yes.
um,
And you was
that
featured on the radar as well.
yeah, yeah. So that was cool. Ty Dolla Sign liked that post. So that was like, whoa, like that was. I love Ty Dolla Sign. So for that
Yes,
to happen,
Ty.
I'm like, yeah, I'm like, okay, I'm doing the right thing. These people are noticing. So, um, that's been like the biggest reward, and I think that fuels me because no matter what, like I know I'm emerging.
Mhm.
I have that confidence. I believe in my ability, and I'm humble and I'm grounded, and I have like a great team behind me. So I feel like I'm in a good place.
Amazing. And also, being from the Bronx and knowing, like we said, we talked earlier in the segment when it started, just knowing, the caliber of artists that had came from the Bronx. Can you kind of go into the legacy portion of what, how you want to be able to establish your name when it comes to being a Bronx
Mhm.
artist, in the genre of
Yeah.
R&B?
To be honest with you, I can't even name a ton of Bronx R&B artists off like the back of my hand. That's like something I have to really look back into. And I mean it's like Bronx, not Mount Vernon, but like actually,
Right.
I'm from 163rd, so I don't,
Right.
I grew up near Trinity, so the biggest artist at that time or near that
Mhm.
area was like Fat Joe and Big Pun and them.
Right.
So I think as far as leaving a legacy, I just want to kind of like leave a landmark for artistry from the Bronx. Just showing how unique we are, and I think that would be kind of pivotal for the music industry to have like
Yeah.
that person. So
Yes. And I'm looking forward to it.
thank you,
Of course,
thanks.
definitely. And before we get out of here, of course, I have to ask one of my favorite one of my favorite questions Danielle and I always present
Mm,
is, for you as an emerging artist. Well, actually, no, no, no. Before I ask that, I kind of want to go into this one thing as well, because the one thing about me is like when I speak with artists, I talk about their growth.
hmm
Um, because when you first initially started coming in and you started making music and all the way up until obviously the most recent of the EP and single now, like like talk about that time
hmm
span and just understanding that growth pattern and seeing the difference and hearing the difference in yourself from when you first started.
I have some of these old songs on my phone, and I'm like, dang, I used to make that. But I started off rapping actually. That was like my passion. Very introspective, very conscious, and always feeling like I could sing. I couldn't find someone to like perform these hooks that I wanted. So I was like, all right, I'm
Hmm.
gonna venture off and learn how to sing. And initially I was like T-paining it up, like heavy auto
Okay.
tune, like just going crazy. I'm not too proud of that, but as I learned to sing and vocal practicing and
Hmm.
coaching, I definitely turned that down, and I just love my ability to tell stories now. I feel like I'm very confident in that area, and if you give me a topic, I feel like I can kind of like accomplish that in a song, in an interlude, or something. And I feel like my music now has deeper connections with my audience.
Hmm.
So
Yes, yes, yes. Because I was going to say, you start like the storyteller. Give me something on French fries. I ain't gonna put
I
you on the
got
spot like
you.
that. Not gonna do that. But and then last but not least, of course, once again, just thank you. I
Mhm.
love that, we can laugh and joke and just be human and and definitely talk about get into your story. Like I said, as you're emerging and as there's other artists that are emerging, what words of encouragement can you give to them that is there's either still trying to decide or figure it out, or they're in their zone, but it's just like, well, where do I go from here at this point? What words of encouragement can you give to either of those?
I would say to see it through. I think if you love this and you're passionate about it, and you want to pursue a career as an artist, I think that's like all you can do because there are going to be changes. There's a lot of changes going on currently within the industry. Some things that have kind of like blocked some opportunities for me, and I just remind myself like, yeah, I want to see this through, and I just keep going. And I think that having that persistence and that zeal for what you're after, like going after, is important. So definitely see it through.
Okay. And what you got next? Like, can we be expecting? So obviously, we're in quarter four.
Hmm
Wrapping up for 2024 pretty soon. Are do we have more music ending out the year? Are we going into the top of the year with maybe an album or another EP? What we got going on? What's the
Definitely
tea?
more music. I've been teasing the single that I'm gonna have out, I think, by next month. Following that, there will be a project in November, and then I think following the new year, I want to say maybe January, I'm gonna release another EP. So there's two EPs, one in November, and then in January, something for pre-Valentine's Day. I have to do it. It's my last name, so
Yes.
like I got to
Yes.
do something. But a lot of music, a lot of music.
Okay, we are looking forward to it. Can't wait. We gonna put it on our new music list once it hits
Yes.
out, and definitely want to stay connected because I think that you definitely have
Mhm.
something. I definitely think that is something like you said you're tapping into when it comes to R&B,
Mhm.
being from the Bronx, and I think just overall New York, you're giving it to us, and I
Thank
want
you.
to see more of it, and I want to be able to see it grow a lot more further than what it is, because I believe in it, and I believe in artists. Once I hear artists that are really good, and it's just like,
Mm.
oh yeah, we got to tap into it. We got to.
Thank you for having me. This was really fun. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to be here and
Of
just kind of share my story.
course. Thank you so much.
Of
I
course.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for just coming in, and just those who was able to. I saw a lot of people popping in and out. So thank you. For those who are just coming in, sorry you had to miss it, but it'll be on our YouTube channel. Make sure you go follow us, tap in, and you'll be there. So, Mr. Valentine, I like that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank
And
you.
enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you. You too. You have a
Of
good night. All right.
course. All right. Listen, guys, that was Donald Valentine. I mean, he's amazing. So definitely, if you have not tapped in, please make sure you tap in. And make sure you go follow. Right now, he has his latest single, which is All the Time. Please make sure you go follow. You go to the DSPs and run it up, okay? Because it's amazing. So, guys, thank you so much for being here with me tonight. Unfortunately, Danielle could not be with us tonight, but that's my girl. Listen, let's send her some love, 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 love. And guys, tune in next week. We got another episode. All right. So you already know it's nothing but real music, real style, and real people. And I'm your host, Aisha Lewis Redway. And guys, you already know it don't get no realer than this. So next time, peace.